Hey there, welcome to My Green Pets. I'm William Green. Just going to do another quick update today. Only one plant in bloom. Lots and lots and lots of growth happening. So let's jump right in and start with our Dendrochilum tenellum. This plant is still not in full bloom, but it's getting there. Lots and lots of cute little spikes with lots of flowers on each one. And the first one opened up over a week and a half ago at this point, I think. So I wonder if the first flowers won't be kind of dropping off by the time the plant is in full bloom. But anyway, kind of a cool little thing from the Philippines. I don't detect any fragrance on it, but still very cute. There's a little better look at those flower spikes. About half my catasetums are dormant and doing nothing at this time, but then the other half have already started to grow. This is my Clowesia Rebecca Northen. 2 new growths pushing out on that. Over here we've got Cycnoches cooperi, little green growth at the bottom there pushing out. And then over here we've got Mormodia Jumbo World with the seed pod developing, and then we've also got a new growth pushing out right underneath the spike. And I'm hoping to see several new growths on this plant this year so that we can get a really, really spectacular display of flowers next winter. Just want to take a moment to appreciate the absolute perfection of the new growths on Cattleya Maxima here. They just look wonderful. So smooth and perfect. Now this plant is it's got 3 large growths that it's just put out, but then it's also got a couple more that are sticking out down here at the bottom. So 5 growths total pushing on this guy, and this is just the first round. There should be a second round of growths to push up in the spring, and if this plant does what it did last year, it'll bloom all of the growths around September. So that's going to be a pretty outstanding show this year. And then right after blooming, I'm probably going to divide this plant into 4 or 5 just to keep it a manageable size. So at that time I will definitely be selling off or auctioning off the pieces. The Cattleya Rexes are growing nicely. Here we have Mayu, warded clone, looking for flowers on this plant in 3 to 4 months at this point. Over here we've got Vanda, really nice little plant, kind of compact, a little bit smaller grower, but really nice growth coming out on Vanda as well. And then over here, Inti, the largest one, 2 pods on Inti, and then a nice big growth pushing out down here as well. A few weeks ago I said I was having some issues with this plant. It's 2 Rexes that are actually mounted and then in a clay pot, and I noticed that it was very wrinkly and shrivelly. The leaves, it just looked dehydrated. And then a few people said, hey, clay pots really can dehydrate your plants, and I didn't believe it at first, but I finally feel like, yes, I finally believe this now, because I put some bark into the pot, and so there's more moisture held around the roots now, and it looks much better. So the wrinkly part seems to have a solution. Right next to my Vanda falcata, it doesn't look great to me. I think that the leaves have a little bit of a yellowish look to them, and I wonder if it's because I repotted this plant into, well, it's got bark in the bottom of the pot, but this is just like some decorative Spanish moss that I've put around the roots there, and I wonder if the plant is staying too dry, and that's what's causing this kind of yellowish look to the leaves, because they should be a nice green color So I might have to repot that again. It is rooting nicely. You can see little roots coming out the side there and also inside the pot. So maybe it's just a period of adjustment to the new pot, but I think these need more moisture than I'm giving it, and so I need to try to pick that up a little bit more. I'm a big fan of Bulbophyllum, and I've got two in this basket. This one on the right here is Bulbophyllum lepidum, and it seems to be doing pretty well actually. The new growths, there's 3 of them, and this one's right along the medium there, which is good because, as you can see, bulbos tend to want to climb up out of their containers, and even though there's all this wonderful space for it to grow, it decided it wanted to go that way. And so I try to pot my bulbos in taller containers to kind of contain them as long as possible. My Medusa is doing the same thing. It's got lots of room down here in the pot to grow, lots of growth, lots of place where it could be putting out new growth. But where did it put out the new growth? Oh, it did it right here at the edge of the pot, and it's going to keep growing up and out. So try to have a tall-edged, tall-sided container for those. Now, Echinolabium Hal is putting out a new growth here as well, and this one's a little bit, this one doesn't climb like my other viney bulbos, so this one just kind of puts out bulb after bulb. I'm going to be curious to see what this new leaf looks like. Hopefully it's going to be as big or bigger than the most recent one. And I have a feeling that also Hal's roots are a little bit too dry. I should water them every day, but I don't always get in here. And sometimes the humidity can actually drop very, very low in here into the 30s. So I've really got to keep an eye on that. I still feel like too dry is better than too wet, but too dry will take its toll as well. The seedlings are growing right along. These are all Rex seedlings of various breed, and they seem to be doing okay. Lots of new roots. And then these are also Rexes. These are of my own breeding, so Mayu by Orchid back here, and then Inti by Kia, these two guys here. So that's fun. And then lots of other seedlings over here in this area, slowly gaining size. Really happy with these Dowiana Oreas. Looks so nice. And I put them in kind of a, they're a little bit over potted right now. I think that this pot is probably a little bit too big, so I'm being really careful not to water too much. And they're looking pretty good. So I'm excited. My Cattleya Maxima, this looks to be at least a couple different plants because there's 5 new growths on this bunch. And I pulled the pot out yesterday and I saw that the roots were starting to reach towards the bottom, so that was good too. Looking forward to seeing that bloom one day. Still several years away probably. But overall things are growing. Spring is already in full force in the grow tent, and I'm just doing everything I can to keep the temperature and the humidity at a decent level. You can see this is right now it says 19.2 C, so that's in the upper 60s Fahrenheit, so that's the low temperature. And then once the light kicks on and it starts warming up in here in the apartment, it'll get up to around 26, 27 degrees, which is lower 80s, and then it'll do it again. So that's the cycle that I try to keep everything on all through the year. Today's outside temperature here in Colorado is negative 18 C, so we're close to single digits. I think we're in the single digits Fahrenheit, and maybe even to the negatives. So very, very cold outside, and so being this close to the window definitely helps cool the tent down, but you know, it also kind of prevents it from getting super warm in here in the wintertime. So that is about it. We are about 3 months, I'd say, 3 months from seeing Rex buds at least, maybe blooms. So maybe April, May, we should hopefully see some. And I think that'll be the next, that might be the next thing to bloom in here, honestly. So until then, we'll just keep you updated every week right here on My Green Pets. I'm William Green. Take care. See ya.